powers and principalities.
There's so much fire inside me.
Tragedy struck when part of the largest hillside at the kosher rubbish dump collapsed.
It's going to be fun to see how he goes about approaching this game.
We table issues relating to the arts and entertainment for a riveting discussion, of course, without fear nor favor.
The question the presenter asked them was a dumb question. You need to speak the part and move.
Varied views. We agree to disagree.
So I would disagree with everything you said. I think that he's a smart guy. I think what he did.
No, but I also said he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
I guess that I'm waiting for the what next.
Yeah, I don't think that we have to wait for what next.
It sometimes gets confrontational, but that's the beauty of the game.
Today you are denying funny face.
It's not my brother.
Today you are denying funny face.
I don't know him.
You don't know funny face.
It's not my brother.
You don't know funny face.
It's a package. We meet, we sit, we dialogue, we learn, we progress. My name is Benefo Huabin Abrantepa, a proud blogger, and this is my forum.
Hello there. I trust we are all doing well and trying to keep safe amidst this entire coronavirus pandemic. But whilst we are at that, we must eat, right? Man must survive. So today we are talking food, and we are looking specifically at pot gardening. I'm not talking about flowers in pots or ornamental plants in pots. We are looking at organic food crops in pots. Contemporary, cauliflower, cabbage, beetroot, you name them. But we have a very hardworking woman who is doing this right from her backyard garden. She calls it the Dreams Garden, and her story caught our attention, so we decided to put the spotlight on her and share her story with the rest of the world. Let's go meet our guest.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How do you do?
I'm good. You?
I'm very well. So our guest is Deborah Ofosua Boating, and she's an events planner as well as should I say gardener or a farmer?
Gardener.
Right, nice to meet you.
Same.
Okay, so pot gardening, how does this whole thing work?
Okay, so the difference between pot gardening is we use pot while the others have landscape or land they use. So basically it's pot. When we say pot, it depends on what pot you use. I use the clay pots basically because it doesn't absorb a lot of heat. Air moves freely in it, so the plant feels like it's actually in the soil.
Okay.
So I use basically pots to plant all the vegetables that I use.
Why pots though?
Okay, so pots because I don't have land.
Okay.
So
So that's you trying to make the most of the
what I
resources.
have. Yes, the
Exactly.
resources I have. Pots because I don't have land. Two, I realized that even if I had land, I won't be able to have all the plants I need in my little space. My space is small. But with the pots, we have all the nutrients in one space, yet we can have so many plants in a small area.
Nice. I love what you've done with this, by the way.
Oh, thank
so
you.
tell me about your garden. You call it Dreams Garden.
Yes.
Why the name Dreams Garden?
Okay, so the name because I think one time I was asleep and I had a dream of a plant like this, but just that it was carrot.
Okay.
So I kept thinking, how can I plant? How can I have plants when I don't have soil like I saw? I didn't see soil. So I started with plastics. I started with plastic buckets like what we have here, gallons. These are gallons that have been cut. So I started with gallons like this because the concept of pots looked very expensive to me. So I started with gallons. When I see people, I tell them, listen, when you buy your oil and you exhaust them, kindly give me your gallons. When you buy water, the bigger gallon, I think 250 something. When you buy it, please give me the gallons. Then I come, wash them nicely, and then
Cut and then
yes,
plant.
and then plant in them. Well, so the plants were doing well, especially cabbage, ginger. So
When did you have this dream?
that should be in 2012 thereabout.
Okay.
But I actually started it in 2015.
Okay.
Yes, the latter part of 2015, I started the gallons and then plastics, old buckets.
You started with what plants?
I started with ginger. Ginger was the first crop I did. Then I introduced cabbage. When I introduced cabbage, it was difficult because I didn't know how to water and all that. So I went to the net, learned how to do or give them food and then water without suffocating or choking them. So the cabbage did well. Then I introduced contumely. So in the past 5 years, I have never bought cabbage, never bought ginger, never bought contumely. And then it's not like we always have to, it's just the same thing I am propagating.
Do you have any agric background?
No, aside what I did in JHS and
So you learned
secondary
this all on the internet?
yes, please. I think years back, we had a little garden at home. So I got some of the things from there. I remember what we did in our homes. Yes, please. So
Okay. And so what food stuff or what things do you have? What makes up your garden?
okay, I have here now. There are two parts of the garden. There is the other side at the back house. This is the front. So I have over here. I have cabbage. I have mint. I have parsley. I have tomatoes. I have basil. I have contumely. I have squash. I have pepper. I have turmeric. I have holy basil, lettuce, spring onions, and then eggplants. I have thyme as well, and then yellow melons, ginger, cauliflower, garlic, peppermint. The peppermint, there are different types. Peppermint. We have the spearmint. We have the peppermint, and then we have the red mint. Then I have beetroot, and then tea grass here.
Okay.
So all in all, I have 24 plants here.
In your house?
Yes, please.
So you got this idea started in 2015.
Yes, please.
Where did you get the seeds and how did you progress to pots and ties?
Okay.
I see some ties.
You see sometimes. Okay, so I did the gallons to start with. Then I got my seeds from the agro shop at Ministry of Agric.
Okay.
So I was being careful what breed to get, but I knew that with them, because they are the licensed seed distributors, I knew that I was going to get the exact breed I wanted, and I wanted to do purely organic. So that's where I got the seed, and that's why I still get my seed till now.
Okay.
Then I started the pots. The pots came in. Like I said, I didn't know I could fund the pots because we know pots are expensive.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to use cement pots either. I wanted to do the real
used for the flowers.
flowers.
Okay.
Yes, please. People, yes. So I didn't want to use that because it was food. I can be sure of the clay, not too sure what cement will do to the food. Yes. So because over time, the plants stay there for a long time. Over time, the cement might be introduced to the food. So I met a lady, Esther, who comes from Tefle. When she got to me one time, I told her this is what I was doing, that I wanted pots, but I didn't know how to get it. Then she said in Tefle, they actually mold the pots. So all the pots you see here came from Tefle. What I did was that I think that we should not despise little beginnings. So I didn't buy. Over here, I have 149 pots just here. That is only the clay pots, excluding the plastic ones.
Wow.
And then I have at the back house, you see,
200.
Yes, 250 clay pots, excluding the plastic ones. Okay, but I bought them in beads. Myself, go buy like 20 pots, bring them there in here, and then the next transplant, instead of transplanting into plastic pots, I transplant them into the clay pots. So I bought them in 10s, then in 20s, and then in 30s, but never bought 40 at a time.
Okay, how much did it cost you? Because you were looking at the expense as well.
Yes, so I'll say that a small pot is about 50 cedis.
Okay.
A small pot like we have here is about 50 cedis. And because I knew that I wasn't doing a decor, something for people to see and say, oh no, this pot is nice, but I was concentrating on the food. I didn't go for very expensive pots like we have here. I just use them to line up. So when you come in, they are nice, but the rest are the clay pots. So 40, from 40, you get some at 120, depending on the size and then the mold you want.
Okay. And is this for commercial purposes or is it just for your family?
Okay, so I started with the intention of just for my mother. I wanted to experiment. I wanted her to live long. So I wanted to experiment with my mother. That was just why I started. So
to give her healthy food.
Yes, to give her healthy food. To see if food really changes our body.
Okay.
Yes. So I remember that when we started, we were picking cabbage fresh, and the cabbage didn't feel like what we buy from outside. It was much fleshy, and then the other thing too is that it tasted slightly bitter, not like what we take. So when you cook with it, it's fleshier. It's like it's more yield. The cabbage too were bigger, yet we're not adding fertilizer. So I started with the intention of feeding just my home. But as it grew, you know, when you harvest and it's there, you can't say you want to keep it for the home and waste it. And because we are always planting, we always have some nest after the next harvest. So now we sell out.
So how do you get your soil fertilized?
I use purely organic stuff like cow dung and then chicken waste. Then I use fresh egg. Fresh egg neutralizes gives nutrition to the soil, which the plant intends feed on. Then I use moringa leaves. I mash them, spray it on the plants. By the next one, you see the plant smiling. Then I use banana. Yes, when I buy banana and I have some wasted because I'm not able to use it immediately, I blend and then spray my crops with it, and all these things fertilize the plants.
How expensive is maintaining this garden?
It's not expensive at all. It's not, because I bought the pots once and then they stay till I mistakenly break them.
Okay.
Or the only time you lose it is when it's broken. Yes. The only thing you have to be changing is the soil and then the nutrients you add to the
So
soil.
you're actually making more profits than
Yes.
loss.
At all. I don't think we make
Any
losses at all, because until you break a pot, and hardly will you break 2 pots in a month. In a whole year, you might have broken only 3 pots, because I am careful.
And what has been your biggest yield so far since you started?
The biggest yield I've harvested a lot of onions. I think in 2016, onion was a bumper harvest. Then cabbage is constant. Cabbage has been nice to me. Cabbage loves me. Then lettuce also loves me. I have a lot of mint here. So we have, depending on the season, in October, late October, we harvested so much tomatoes that aside selling and feeding, we did not have hands for. So it's been nice to me.
So we'll come back to that conversation.
Yes.
But we are speaking to Deborah Ofosu-Boateng. She is a unique farmer who's doing pot gardening, and she's been telling us her story. Let's take a quick break. We'll return and learn more, as well as tour this beautiful garden.
Powers and principalities. There's so much fire inside me.
Tragedy struck when part of the largest hillside at the kosher rubbish dump collapsed.
It's going to be fun to see how he goes about approaching this game.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. We are at the residence of Deborah Ofosu-Boateng here at Techi Nungwa, and we are speaking to her about pot gardening and everything it entails. So, doesn't this limit you, as in how many plants can a pot take at a time? Doesn't it limit how much you can yield or produce?
Okay, thank you. It doesn't limit me at all, because if this space I have here was land, I believe that it wouldn't take up to 30 plants.
Okay.
Yes, because you need to leave space in between the plants so that they can express themselves. They don't fight over nutrition, they don't fight over oxygen, they don't struggle with each other. When they touch on each other, it limits their growth aside fighting over nutrition.
Okay.
So you can see that just over here I have, aside the ceramic pots or the clay pots, I have plastic ones. So just here I have about 220 plants.
Okay.
Just in this space. If it were a land, I would just have had about 25 plants. That is if I want good yield.
So this is actually more advantageous compared to planting on land.
Yes, please, because the nutrients too is concentrated at one place.
Okay.
So the plant gets all the nutrients it needs
in one place.
And I don't lose the nutrients either. With land, when it rains, and then the rain actually collects or sweeps away the nutrients. This one is preserved for me, so I don't lose. And then the plants actually bear more fruits. Yes, because in one plant you should only keep, in one pot you should only keep one plant if you want good yield.
Okay.
Same way on land, you just plant one crop at one place and leave about 5 feet.
Okay.
So they don't struggle.
But you don't need to keep that 5 feet here.
No, not at all. Yes,
they are in the pots.
Yes,
beautiful. Do people buy from you?
Yes, please. A lot of people buy. People who are conscious of
their health
and what they put in, buy from us.
Because they know it's organic?
It's purely organic, yes, please.
I see. Okay. And do you have challenges with pests or diseases since you started in 2015?
Yes, please. Their crops are just like us. They are like human beings. So once in a while, they show symptoms of not feeling well. What we do is that one of the pests I have had issues with is white flea. Yet there are chemicals that are given to us from from Ministry of Agric. We have people coming here to check on the plants. So when they see there is an issue, they prescribe a drug for you for that particular issue, which takes care of it in less than 24 hours. So you don't lose your yield.
Okay, and when you say people buy, are you talking about individuals or supermarkets? Or
No, individuals for now.
stores? Okay.
Individuals for now. I advertise through social media and stuff like that. So individuals buy from us. We have not gotten to the scale of a supermarket. We can't keep up with the supply.
And do you have any external experts coming to help you, maybe extension officers?
Yes, I have extension officers allocated for my garden who come on inspection at least once a week, sometimes twice a week.
And what are some of the things they look out for when you come here?
Yes, so they keep teaching me. Then they look at the new things I'm also inventing.
Okay.
They're looking at how I propagate. So when they come in, at first I didn't know I had to keep just one plant in a pot. So because I was looking at getting more yield, I was doing 2 in a pot.
Okay.
They said no, they insisted on one in a pot. And I realized that the product I was getting became bigger and nicer. Yes, so they educate us.
And are you being recognized by anybody? Is your work going beyond your home? Is anyone else seeing you?
Yes, I think that last year, last year I was awarded Best Gardener for the whole of Crow. I believe it's not because of size. Garden is the space and what you are able to do with the space. And then I'm the only pot gardener here too, and I'm doing it well. So I was recognized. I'll show you my certificate when we're done.
That's nice. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
You're doing a good job, and we are happy people are recognizing it.
Yes,
but
please, thank you.
we want to just take a quick tour of your garden before we wrap up.
Yes, please. Thank
so
you. You're welcome.
Just take us through each plant and tell us something little about it. What do we have here, for instance?
Okay, so over here I have tomatoes. Then I have parsley.
Okay.
We have lettuce here. I think yes, the egg is serving at the nutrition for it. I keep it far from the roots because egg holds it like starch.
Okay.
So if it's too close to the plant, it will kill the roots. Yes. This is my nursery actually. I nurse the crops here. Then,
before you move them into the bigger pots.
And over here there is a lot of shade, so the plant is not forced. The plant is not forced to die because too much heat. Would. So when I transplant, I keep them here too. There is shade here, but there is a little sunlight here to prepare it for the sun.
Okay.
Otherwise, when you just move it, the plant will go into shock. And
so it moves from complete shade to a little bit of shade and sun, and then finally the sun.
Yes, yes, please. Okay. So I have cabbages that are ready, that is due in just 2 weeks. Yes. In fact, you don't have to wait for your cabbage to bulb. We sell in the pots as well. We sell the plants with the pots as well. So if you pick a plant like the cabbage and you buy 2 pots from us, we will show you how to use them, because you don't have to cut the whole crop if you don't need the whole crop.
As in people buy the entire pot with the plant.
Yes, please.
I see.
Yes, please. Like this is an example of it. A plant like this is lettuce. You can see that this lettuce has grown longer than what you see. Now, if I have to fix salad this morning for you, all I need is to pick some lettuce from here. Just what I need. You don't have to pick from the top. You pick from beneath it just enough for the salad, so you don't have to keep the salad in the fridge till another time. So this is good enough for breakfast.
So this is you plucking it off the entire stem?
Yes.
But it doesn't spoil anything?
No. In 3 days, I can pick what I have here. So this, just 2 pots is enough for like 2 months. So that is the advantage of the pot gardening and what I do. If you buy it with a pot, I show you how to handle them. Because when you buy lettuce like this, probably this plant will be like 5 cedis or 10 cedis in the market. Yes. And the organic, the organic is more expensive because of what it takes. Yes. So when you buy it this way, what happens is that I will show you how to handle the plants. You don't have to introduce any nutrients when the plant is grown. It just survives by itself. With cabbage too, yes. So when you harvest, the first harvest, you don't fruit the whole thing. You just cut the head. It's fruiting. You have like 3 or 4 heads.
From that one stem?
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
I see.
When
okay. So we have cabbage, we have
cauliflower, we have aubergine, we have mint, we have contomere here, a lot of contomere. We harvested contomere the day before yesterday. Okay. Yes. And then this is what we have again. And contomere, all you have to do is...
A day before yesterday?
Yes. A day before yesterday, I combined contomere, spinach, and then aubergine for my sauce with yam. And it's good. It's good because I gave somebody who has BP some on Wednesday and said, you know what, Thursday, which was yesterday, please check your BP, let me know. And the person gave me back a report that the BP was 11975. When the previous day it was 14280. Yes, that day the person ate a combination of contomere, spinach, and aubergine. I can't prescribe for what I don't know. I can only speak for what I do. No, what I do, because I know that is the real organic thing you are doing. Because so if you probably take from somewhere else, and then
it might not produce the same results.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, please. Okay. This is spinach. Very high in iron, potassium, and all that. So this can be used in place.
It's a creeping plant.
Yes, it is. It can be used in place of contomere. If you don't have contomere, you can use the spinach. Okay. You can combine it. You can use it for your juices. You can use it for soup, the ebunu, and then all that. Now we are trying something different. I mistakenly nipped the wrong plant from the roots. Okay. So now it's not in soil. It's in plastic.
With water?
Just water.
And it's growing?
And that is it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it means you don't just stick to what you know. You keep
I keep exploring. I keep doing new things because I can't be buying seed after seed after seed. That's a lot of cost. This is spring onion.
Okay.
So if I have to sell it, then I have to extract.
Okay.
But if
it's for home use.
If it's for home use, I nip. If I sell to you, I let you know how to nip it, what length to nip, and then you always have fresh.
So it grows from the
yes, please. Okay. It goes. And this is garlic I have just next.
Oh, okay.
In 2 weeks, I will be harvesting spring garlic. So I'll use it like the spring onions, and then others will be left to bulb. This is the turmeric plant. Most people mistake it for ginger, so I'll put some. So see.
Oh.
So this is the turmeric you buy. The smell is nice. This is good for us during this time of COVID because straight to start with, it takes away congestion. Okay. As soon as, even when you have catarrh and you take it, in less than 30 minutes, you blend or use it as tea, either juice or tea. As in less than 15 minutes, it clears the congestion, stops headache, controls your BP and all that. And this is our beautiful turmeric. Yes.
It looks like ginger, just
yes, and it's orange
yeah,
and beautiful. Yes, so this is turmeric. We just I nursed carrot 3 days ago. In a week's time, you see the shoots. So I have ginger also here. So I haven't bought ginger in more than 5 years.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, actually, you started with ginger, so yeah.
So this is beautiful
very
ginger
fresh
for
ginger.
you. The taste is different.
How different?
It's stronger in smell and in taste. Very different from what we have on the market.
It's very fresh.
Yes, please. You will taste some very shortly. Then this is from the family of basils. But this is the ordinary akukomesa our mothers use in cooking our live soup and chicken meals. So once they are doing live soup with chicken, they introduce it. But what we don't know is that it has a lot of health benefits, like controlling your BP, drops your sugar.
I can smell it even
through your nose mask. Yes, same here. So this is the basil, the akukomesa. That's what we usually call it. In fact, if you have even mouth odor, and then you just put it in water for a while, and then you gargle, it just has a way of calming that strong odor. We just harvested pepper 3 days ago, but we still have some here. This variety is the small one. Then we have the big sun pepper, and then our cabbage is bobbing. You see how fresh our cabbage looks, and then how big it looks. Yes.
So if I'm buying this cabbage, for instance, when it's mature,
yes,
and I'm buying it with the pots.
Okay, so if you buy flesh, we'll weigh it. Usually it's about 5 cedis, 10 cedis, between 5 cedis and 10 cedis. But if you are buying with the pot, usually these are the pots we sell. So this is lettuce. This lettuce cannot go bad unless, of course, you expose it to goats and other things. With other ones, we use ashes. So the pot itself is 15 cedis. That's how I bought the pot. 15 cedis. Then my soil I'm selling at about 5 cedis because I've introduced a lot of. Then the lettuce is good seed, a good variety, and all that. I'm giving that to you at 10 cedis because when you take it home, you can use it over a long time. So all in all, plus my labor, is going for 35 cedis.
That's affordable.
Yes, that's because when you look at how long,
exactly,
yes, you're going to use it. Yes. The reason I am not looking at selling at 40 or 50 is that I'm thinking, I think the Coca-Cola thought. Now, when you take it home and you finish using the plant, bring me back my pot and then my soil. Then I'll give you another plant at 20 cedis. Okay, so this is my box you asked for. It's my baby.
Your baby?
Yes, my baby.
It's the freshest among the lot.
Yes, it's my baby. These are beautiful snails.
Okay.
These are snails.
This is the only protein thing you want?
Yes. These are lovely snails.
Wow.
Smiling snails. You see, saying hello.
How long have you had them?
Okay, so I've had this for 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Yes, please. At the Farmer's Day, it was one of the things I exhibited.
Wow.
I've had them for the box for 3 years.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. We've been enlightened. And we are hoping that so many other people get to learn. Now, I'm sure that through her story, you've come to understand that it becomes more of a hobby over time. She's been doing this for more than 5 years.
Yes,
and now the benefits are unending for her. This is pot gardening, an organic food, which actually helps to build your health and all of that. We've been speaking to Deborah Ofosua Boateng at her residence here, backyard gardening in pots from Teshinungwa. My name is Wanda Mihagan. reporting for GhanaWeb TV.
Powers and principalities. There's so much fire inside me.
Tragedy struck when part of the largest hillside at the kosher rubbish dump collapsed.
Let's see how he goes about approaching this game.
We table issues relating to the arts and entertainment for a riveting discussion, of course, without fear nor favor.
The question the presenter asked them was a dumb question. You need to speak the part and move.
Varied views. We agree to disagree.
So I would disagree with everything you said. I think that he's a smart guy. I think what he did.
No, but I also said he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
I guess that I'm waiting for the what next.
Yeah, I don't think that we have to wait for what next.
It sometimes gets confrontational, but that's the beauty of the game.
Today you're denying funny face.
It's not my brother.
Today you're denying funny face.
I don't know him.
You don't know funny face.
It's not my brother.
You don't know funny face.
It's a package. We meet, we sit, we dialogue, we learn, we progress. My name is Benefo Huabin Abrantepa, a proud blogger, and this is my forum.
What started in 2018 as a tussle between the now former Auditor General, Mr. Daniel Yaodomlevo, and the Audit Service Board Chair has finally come to an end, with the President directing the Auditor General to proceed on retirement. And it looks like Mr. Yaodomlevo may have conceded by announcing that he is today, March 10, 2021, organizing a Thanksgiving service. But before then, the CSOs against corruption in Ghana are making a statement on the President directive, which they have described as unconstitutional and targeted.
Letter issued by the Office of the President purporting to retire the Auditor General, Mr. Daniel Yaodomlevo. The letter was issued barely a day after Mr. Yaodomlevo's return to his post, after he had been unconstitutionally compelled by the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to undertake a purported accumulated leave of 169 days. We aim to set out in detail the facts and circumstances surrounding the Auditor General forced retirement. These facts and circumstances, in our view, give credence to our belief that Mr. Demlovo was unfairly targeted merely for pursuing his constitutional mandate. Really, Mr. Demlovo's exemplary work has not gone unnoticed. The World Bank, in its 2020 global report titled Enhancing Government Effectiveness and Transparency, the Fight Against Corruption, pages 308 to 310, singled out Ghana's Auditor General for praise for the positive impact of his work on public accountability efforts in Ghana. It is no surprise, therefore, that in 2019, Auditor General Demlovo received the award for Integrity Personality of the Year at the maiden Ghana Integrity Awards organized by the Ghana Integrity Initiative, the local chapter of Transparency International. Generally, we acknowledge Mr. Demlovo's sense of purpose, determination, discipline, and exceptional sense of duty. The coalition believes that the manner in which the questions regarding Mr. Demlovo's date of birth, which formed the recent basis for the President's letter, were not handled in accordance with the constitutional directive in Article 23, that administrative actions should be handled fairly, reasonably, and in compliance with the due process of law. The coordinated actions of the Office of the President and the Audit Service Board Chair on this matter further confirms our belief that Mr. Demlovo has been unfairly targeted. But to fully appreciate the matter at hand, we wish to take the opportunity to set out in detail the facts and circumstances which led to the forced retirement of the Auditor General. The chronology of events. First, Auditor General Demlovo's petition to President Akufo-Addo. So on 27th, 2018, the Auditor General petitioned President Akufo-Addo over the claims that the chairman of the Audit Service Board, Professor D.R. Adjuman, was undermining his authority and or interfering with the work contrary to law. Amongst the claims Mr. Demlovo made against the chairman in his petition to the President were 1, procurement manipulations, interference with audit processes, and 3rd, unlawful circulation of audit findings. With respect to the alleged procurement manipulations, Auditor General Demlovo indicated in his petition to the President that the board chair had instructed Mr. Johnson Ekuamoa Esiedu, a Deputy Auditor General, and Mr. Beneza Agromasa, a procurement officer, to replace some firms which have been awarded contracts with firms of the chairman's choice. This was done without the knowledge or consent of neither the Auditor General nor the Public Procurement Authority. This was according to Mr. Demlovo. Enter into the fray the former senior minister and then Kroll Associates. So in that same year, the Office of the Auditor General, in its report of December 2018 on ministries, departments, and agencies, indicated that during a review of the contract with Kroll Associates, we noted that there was no evidence of work done. The Finance Ministry in 2000 paid $1 million to the company. Auditor General Demlovo, the senior minister, Mr. Yaofa Mafo, and 4 other officials of the Finance Ministry over the payment of the $1 million to Kroll Associates for consultancy services. Then on December 20, 2019, the former minister and the 4 officials appealed against the Auditor General's surcharge at the High Court. Now, one of the key issues before the High Court was whether or not the services Kroll Associates contracted for had been rendered. At the High Court, the Kroll Associates contract documents were argued by counsel for the former senior minister to be a matter of national security and therefore had to be inspected privately rather than in open court by the Auditor General. The High Court Justice Efiasewa Asaribotre referred the matter to the Supreme Court pursuant to Article 135(1) of the 1992 Constitution, as the Supreme Court, by constitutional design, has the exclusive jurisdiction in the matters of national security. The Supreme Court ordered the former senior minister to make available the documents relating to Kroll Associates' contract for inspection by the Auditor General on July 1st, 2020. Interestingly, the Supreme Court did not make any determination on whether or not the documents were indeed a matter of national security. July 28, Auditor General, after having been on voluntary leave for 21 working days, went to his office to pick documents, but to his surprise, the locks to his office had been changed without notice to him. And then finally, on May 26, 2020, the High Court delivered this judgment in which it indicated that it was satisfied that there were grounds to set aside the findings and surcharge made by the former minister and 4 others. So without commenting on the correctness or lack thereof of the High Court decision, we are persuaded that any objective mind and well-meaning Ghanaian presented with these facts and circumstances will ask questions about the propriety of the president's actions. Let me deal with this small matter of inconsistencies in the date of birth of Dom Levo. And I've seen videos going around of Mr. Dom Levo talking about people staying in office, after 60 years and so on. Part of the propaganda that has been put around left and right. On March 3rd, a letter issued by the Office of the President constructively and without legal justification retired Mr. Dom Levo as Auditor General on grounds that he had attained the age of retirement based on his alleged date of birth being June 1, 1960. Now, it is important to note that the Audit Service Board has no authority under the laws of Ghana to determine the accuracy of Mr. Dom Levo's date of birth. In addition, given the series of confrontations and the Audit Service Board, particularly its chairman, Procedure Adman, had with Mr. Dom Levo, it was only fair and consistent with the rules of natural justice for the matter to have been referred to the appropriate state agency or authority for its determination. I mean, think about it. In any of your institutions, if one day your employer calls you and says, you have 2 dates on your records, we want to be sure which one, because we need to be clear that one is authentic and one is wrong. And you say, no, this is my date of birth, and I have evidence, to prove it, to support it. And your HR says, no, we have decided that we are going to give you this date of birth. Even this is your date of birth. Almost like it's a straight liability. As soon as you put your date of birth there, you can't take it back. It's ridiculous. And the danger about these things is that it sets precedents. And we have to be careful about these things. So the manner in which this was handled was, completely inappropriate. So based on the actions that have been taken, should the state believe that Mr. Dom Levo was born on 1st June 1960 because the Audit Service Board chair has decided that this is the date that he prefers? Is that how dates of birth are determined in this country? The hurriedly orchestrated queries and decisions taken by the Audit Service Board, acting in concert with the Office of the President, and the President's unilateral decision to forcibly retire Mr. Dom Levo on the same day he returned to post from an equally false accumulated leave, confirms our belief that Mr. Dom Levo has been unfairly targeted. The coalition notes with regret, the Supreme Court is yet to determine 2 suits relating to the constitutionality of the Auditor General's false accumulated leave, which was filed by Professor Kwaku Asare and 9 CSOs in July and October 2020 respectively. In part, this delay in hearing these time-sensitive cases have rendered some of the issues raised before the court moot and has allowed a grave breach of the Constitution to fester, at least in our estimation. So let me conclude. These 2 suits pending before the Supreme Court go beyond the Auditor General, Dom Levo, and the President. The suits border on the broader issue of whether or not a president could exercise administrative authority over independent constitutional bodies. Therefore, it is important for the Supreme Court to deal with these suits expeditiously to prevent any such action by a future president. In the interest of promoting good governance, constitutionalism, and public accountability, we do call on the Supreme Court to deal with these suits as soon as practicable. We also urge the Auditor General to take action against the Audit Service and the Presidency for administrative injustice. This is a matter that should definitely go to Shraj, because I think the Auditor General, for the interest of posterity, his own integrity, it's a matter that has to be established as a matter of law. That it cannot be just some administrative choice to certify that he was born on the day that he says he was not born. So it's just an oddity, and the only way you can deal with that is to invite Shraj to intervene and allow him to present the documentation that he has made, to the board, which the board said it was inadmissible. So the board is now sitting as a judge, jury, and determining whether or not documentation, even formal documentation, is admissible by them or not. The antecedents of the Demlovo matter has left a sour taste in our mouths and led us to question the commitment of our leaders to accountable governance. It is a wake-up call to all well-meaning Ghanaians to be citizens and not spectators, to speak up and not stay silent when such manifestly unfair treatment is meted out to individuals who are trying to do their job, and to do so with integrity.
So for the CSOs against corruption, the President's directive asking the former Auditor General to proceed on retirements further dampens the nation's commitment to holding state institutions accountable. For GhanaWeb TV, I am George AEC.
Powers and principalities. There's so much fire inside me.
Tragedy struck when part of the largest hillside at the kosher rubbish dump collapsed.
It's going to be fun to see how he goes about approaching this game.
We table issues relating to the arts and entertainment for a riveting discussion, of course, without fear nor favor.
The question the presenter asked them was a dumb question. You need to speak the fact and move.
Varied views. We agree to disagree.
So I would disagree with everything you said. I think that he's a smart guy. I think what he did.
No, but I also said he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
I guess that I'm waiting for the what next. To be
I
answered.
don't think that we have to wait for what next.
It sometimes gets confrontational, but that's the beauty of the game.
Today you are denying funny face.
It's not my brother.
Today you are denying funny face.
I don't know him.
You don't know funny face.
It's not my brother.
You don't know funny face.
It's a package. We meet, we sit, we dialogue, we learn, we progress. My name is Benefo Huabin Abrantepa, a proud blogger, and this is my forum.
You know, this music video, everything has changed. Even the way people see me and relate to me is different from as compared to, you know, when I started dancing. You know, people see me as like a star. You know, I get free food.
Working on the whole Beyonce production and then comparing it to what we do here in Ghana, what would you say is the
fastest shoot ever? I don't know what they want.
But this whole encounter, has it affected your prices? Has your prices gone up?
Yeah.
To what percentage?
10K and above.
Ooh. Wow. Lloyd, will you say you are the best dancer in Ghana? You're welcome to another exciting edition of Talk Attainment. As usual, I am your host, Elsie. Our guest for today is someone I cannot wait for you to see. This lady turns heads everywhere she goes. Do you know why? Because when it comes to the beauty, check. When it comes to the skin color, check. The body curves, check. The money, check. Yes, I won't say much about this lady. Let's take a breather. When we come back, we'll find out who exactly it is I'm talking about. This is Talk Attainment. Don't go away.
You know, this music video, everything has changed. Even the way people see me and relate to me is different from as compared to, you know, when I started dancing. You know, people see me as like a star. You know, I get free food.
Working on the whole Beyonce production and then comparing it to what we do here in Ghana, what would you say is the
fastest shoot ever? I don't know what they want.
But this whole encounter, has it affected your prices? Has your prices gone up?
Yeah.
To what percentage?
10K and above.
Ooh. Wow. Lloyd, will you say you are the best dancer in Ghana?
Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Page 11. Honorable members, in the absence of any corrections, the votes and proceedings of the 20th sitting of the first meeting of the first session held on Wednesday, 10th March 2021, are adopted as the true records of proceedings. I have two official reports. The first is on proceedings of Friday, 29th January 2021. Honorable members, any corrections to the official report of Friday, 29th January 2021? Honorable members, the official report of Friday, 29th January 2021 in the absence of any corrections, is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. We now move to the official record of Tuesday, 2nd February 2021. Any corrections? Honorable members, in the absence of any corrections, the official report of Tuesday, 2nd February 2021 is hereby adopted through record of proceedings. We now move to item 4, statements. I have admitted an urgent statement on an unfortunate incident which took place in the Gomoa West constituency. And I have admitted a statement from Honorable Richard Jan Mensah, MP for Gomoa West constituency, to say a few words on that incident, which was a tragic event of the drowning of 12 teenagers at Apam Beach. Honorable Member, you may now make the statement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for the uncommon opportunity to make a statement on this August floor of the Parliament of the good people of Ghana. And on behalf of my people, the Gomoa West people, who today stand in bruises of a disaster, we are yet to understand why it occurred. I would have wished that my maiden statement on this floor would be one that is gleeful and inspiring. Unfortunately, it is sad, and it's said that as man proposes, but God disposes. This is what we normally say. I am here to give a rather sad and morbid account of the tempestuous misfortune of some young constituents of mine. Mr. Speaker, Sunday, the 7th of March, 2021, is a day the good people of Gomoa West constituency and my good self will never forget. What began as a normal day took a rather bizarre turn and ended up with all of us in tears and heartbreaks. A group of young people between the age of 10 and 17 years who had thronged the Apam Beach to swim in defiance of several warnings were hit by an unexplained misfortune. 12. As of yesterday, Mr. Speaker, the report was 12. But this morning, when I went to my constituency, we recorded a new death. So now the number is 13. This sad event occurred on 5 p.m. on Sunday, 7th March 2021 at the Palm Beach. Mr. Speaker, accounts gathered from witnesses have it that a high tide suddenly swept across the shores at the location where these young ones were swimming, dragging a number of them far offshore into the depth of the sea. There was unrestrained struggle among the victims, with each one giving off his best for survival. Sadly, only 2 of the victims rescued survived, but with conditions that required urgent medical attention. They were immediately rushed to the St. Luke Catholic Hospital at Apam, where they were treated and discharged the next day. Mr. Speaker, it is extremely devastating to report that the lifeless bodies of now 13 of the teenagers who were retrieved from the sea by the intervention of the fishermen and the Fishermen Council at Apam. The 13 include 11 boys and 2 girls, all of whom are teenagers in their early teens. Out of the 13 bodies retrieved, 10 have been identified by the family members. It is our hope that the remaining 3 will be identified as soon as possible. Search for remaining bodies is still ongoing. Mr. Speaker, the last 4 days have been quite tough for me and my people. But in the midst of this tragedy, we have found the common grounds to work together as one people, with a common destiny, despite our political, cultural, and religious differences. We have brought all necessary stakeholders involved to expedite action in bringing some respect. As indicated earlier, the Fishermen Council have been resourced to continue the search for bodies of victims still missing. Together with the District Chief Executive and the District Police Command, we are working to provide some form of relief to parents of the victims and speed up the process of release of the bodies for burial as soon as practicable. As unfortunate as the situation is, the media, through the active collaboration of some persons, have pushed into the public domain reports that are highly and hugely inaccurate. These young people only went to the beach to swim. It is something they do regularly. They were not there to engage in any undesirable social vices, as widely reported in the media. As the MP for the area, I would like to advise our media practitioners to be circumspect in their reportage time. Mr. Speaker, it is important to inform the House that the government, through the Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Honorable Mavis Hawakunsin, and the Regional Minister Designate, have visited the location and offered some assistance and a special cash donation to the Traditional Fishermen Council to perform the necessary customary rites needed. Again, His Excellency the former President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, has sent a delegation to assess the situation and to offer some assistance to the affected families. This delegation was led by the running mate of the National Democratic Congress in the 2020 election and former Minister for Education, Honorable Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajimai. The Central Regional NDC Parliamentary Caucus was also present to solidarize with me and commensurate with the bereaved families and the constituents. The delegation made a cash donation to the bereaved families and the Fishermen and Traditional Council. Mr. Speaker, this accident brings to the fore a canker that must be checked immediately. It would be recalled that the President of the Republic in the 24th COVID-19 address to the nation on 28 February 2021 reinforced the ban on beaches. It appears that there has been a general total disregard of the ban announced by the President under the Imposition of Restriction Act 2020, Act 1012. A lot of people have taken to the habit of frequenting the beaches despite the ban, and I will urge all appropriate laws enforcing agencies to help enforce the ban by at our beaches. I also want to urge the tourism industry to come up with measures to help make our beaches safer, or to at least prevent incidents like the one we recorded on Sunday, 7th March 2021 at Apam. Mr. Speaker, I want to again use this platform to express my heartfelt thanks to the bereaved families and condolences to the bereaved families, and to continue to pray that the good Lord Himself will strengthen and console them as we continue to pull together all available resources to continue providing the needed support in such a difficult time. This is a heavy loss for the constituency, and we grieve and in support. Mr. Speaker, to bring this statement to an end, let me register my utmost appreciation to the good people of Gomoa West, who rose up in their numbers to the call, both in hands-on activities and in kind when it mattered most. To the rescue team, the district chief executive, our amazing fisher folks, the youth of Apam, the youth of Mankwade and Abrekum, we remain internally grateful. To the management and staff of St. Luke Catholic Hospital, the district police command, and my party executive, thank you so much for your invaluable service to the good people of Gomoa West. Mr. Speaker, I would also like to appreciate the leadership of the House, especially that of the NDC caucus, for the continuous guidance and support, and also members of Parliament who have shown great concern in this trying moment. With your indulgence, Mr. Speaker, I would want to share the Bible quotation with the good people of Gomoa West, my people. That is Psalm 41, verse 1 to 3. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore would not we fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though the waters thereof roar and trouble, though the mountains shake with swelling thereof. This can be seen in Psalm 46, verse 1 to 3. May God be our strength. Thank you for the opportunity and the audience.
This is an urgent statement on a very sad event. Definitely, I'll allow one from each side of the divide to make comments. Yes, Honorable Member for Nanda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the statement by our honorable colleague from Apam is a very important one. It is Gomoa West. I want, on behalf of the government, to express our condolences to the bereaved families and to the member of Parliament. This was a very unfortunate incident. Yes, it is true. His Excellency the President had banned activities on the beach. But having said that, it has been our hope that even those who breach that ban would be alive and counseled not to continue to do what they are doing. This has hit the country, and yes, it has acknowledged the participation of the district chief executive and the police command at that level. I would want to assure you that the IGP and the regional command are all involved, and we want to get to the bottom of this matter. Mr. Speaker, it is unfortunate when these incidents happen. We do thorough investigation on the matter before we begin to ascribe motives to the activities of those who pass on. I share the position with him that the press should be circumspect in their reportage of this incident. It is an unfortunate incident, and we should not seek to make allegations against these our young children to have gotten involved in this accident. They are not alive now, and therefore we should hold our guns as far as allegations against them are concerned. What we would rather want the press and witnesses to do is to assist the police with information that will help us understand what happened and will help us avoid a recurrence of that. But above all, Mr. Speaker, we'll work together with the disaster management, NADMO, and other state agencies to see in what way we can be of assistance. Yes, the Honorable Minister for Fisheries, Honorable Howard Kumson, has already been there with the Regional Minister designate. But I want to assure my colleague and the people for PAM that they are of Gomoa, that the Minister of the Interior is going to work with all relevant agencies to see what little comfort we can give, and above all, to see how we can find out exactly what happened. But let me use this opportunity to appeal to our people to respect the ban that has been put in place and to help us see through this COVID-19 pandemic with as little loss as possible to us. This is not even a direct loss as a result of COVID-19. So, Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I would like to say again, condolences to the bereaved families, and we'll work together with the MP to see in what way we can assist to the bereaved families to get over this unfortunate incident. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Member for Pusiga.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the statement ably made by the Honourable Member is quite disheartening. Very sad. Indeed, to see it, although I was not there, I can see it that it was actually a Black Sunday for them. Let me send my condolences to the bereaved families and to say more patience and tolerance to the Honourable Member, the DC and all other stakeholders who are involved in running around to see to it that these bodies are retrieved and that the cause of the is realized. More patience and tolerance, and I wish that they continue to be more united. Mr. Speaker, it is a fact that the President had spoken that no persons should be found going to beaches and what have you. But the fact also remains that in dealing with human institutions, such things can easily happen. And parents, guardians, all other persons, concerned persons, need to always support. Even if there were no ban for persons to go to beaches or to social gatherings, it's very important that we keep an eye when there are social gatherings. You may not even be part of it, because incidents occur and sometimes so many questions come than answers. You do not even know why. Here we are. Instead of us thinking of the tide that came, which is natural, and talking about how these children could have been saved, already it's out there that they were there doing things that are not acceptable. And so the gods fought against them, and that is why that disaster occurred. When we say these things, sometimes we forget nature. we forget that God does his thing. He wants to do that. And we need to also be conscious of the fact that if you think it's someone's child, that you can say anything or write anything, it could also be your child the next minute. So you don't need to rush in saying unacceptable things which you have no any evidence for. Mr. Speaker, notwithstanding the fact that it is stated by the President that beaches should be deserted or nobody should be at beaches because of the COVID-19, I wish to state that at least we should have rescue teams at all our beaches. We should have swimming equipment so that when there is a disaster, the first person who is there most probably will be the one who is a rescue team member and could have helped. But unfortunately, maybe before they came, the tide had already taken its toll, and the worst we can talk of has happened. This is a pity because listening to the age that the honorable member has stated, from 10 to 17, meaning most of them, under normal circumstances, are either pupils or students. I want to say that both teachers and parents should also reiterate to children the dangers of undertaking certain activities, because you will not know what happened to you. They should all get involved, talk to the children, and ensure that this doesn't repeat itself, because this is the second time we are hearing of this. Kintampo, I remember the Kintampo waterfalls incident. Very bad, very horrible. Here we are faced with this particular incident again. Where are those who are supposed to be there taking care of these places? Mr. Speaker,